Hi and welcome to the first part of drawing the fox. Today we're going to be concentrating on the eyes. I always find that if you do the eyes first, it really does start to bring the drawing alive. So what I've done is I've chosen my pencils that I want to use to draw the eye, and they're all prepared here and they're all sharpened. Now if you haven't got these pencils, then I can give you an alternative, but what I'll actually do is on the material sheet I will provide the alternatives for you as well. So we have the Polychromos Dark Indigo, we have the Polychromos Black, we have the Walnut Brown, the Raw Umber, the Burnt Sienna, Cold Grey 2, and then we have the Luminance Sepia 50%, the Derwent Drawing Ivory Black, and the Pablo Bluish Pale. Now you're probably wondering why there's so many pencils for like such a small area, but what we're going to do is we're going to be layering, and so what you want to do is, so that you can make more vibrant colours, is just build layers on it. So on this type of paper you probably won't need that many layers. So what we're going to do is first of all start for the outside of the eye, and I'm going to start with the dark indigo. Now if you don't have a dark indigo in your collection, then you can always use a dark blue, like similar to that colour. So what we're going to do is we are going to just roughly, you can see that, just go around like that. Don't push too much pressure on it, because you won't be able to get any other layers on top. And if you want to use a reference photo, you can use the postcard in your box, or if you're not doing it from a box, then have a look at the reference picture in the materials list. So I'm just going around like so. So if you think it's getting away from you a bit, don't worry, just go with it. It doesn't have to be perfect, you just need to enjoy what you're doing. So we're just going to go like that. And we're just going to work on one eye at a time, so it makes it easier. So just going to make that bit like that. Okay. And then just going to do a bit there. So just again, just lightly colour it, and then we want to go there. You can get better results on other types of paper, but as for a beginning drawing, this is absolutely fine. It's quite thin paper, but you can literally draw on any surface. Now another good surface to draw this on, where you can get fine details of the fur, is drafting film. So if you enjoy doing this drawing, then we can sort out doing a tutorial with drafting film. but you'll get such amazing detail out of it. Okay, so we've done the first little bit there around the eye. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use the black, and we are going to go round over the top again like this, so just so that we can slowly build up the layers like so. Sorry if you can hear background noise. I've got the window open as it's quite warm today. I'm going to add a bit of the walnut brown, so that would be a dark brown for you. Just going to add bits, so it's got like a bit of a tinge there. Okay, and then like so. Okay, right, then there's, okay, just use the dark brown, which is the walnut brown. So in the middle we've got the dark bit of the eye. So although it's black, I'm going to do a dark brown first of all. Like so. And then I'm going to use the black again. So you might find it's looking a bit flat at the moment, but that will change in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to start on the, actually I'm just going to add another layer of black, but this time I'm going to use the Derwent Drawing Ivory Black. But what you may want to do is add another colour, another layer of your normal black. You'll see that it starts to get a bit darker. Like that. So looking at it like this, it looks like he's got eyeliner on. Right, okay. Right, and then I'm going to start with a light brown. This one is a raw umber. So if we actually, if you look at the top of the eye, there's a very pale bit there. So I'm using the bluish pale for the Pablo. If you don't have a Pablo, then you can use the lightest blue in your set. And I'm just gonna, at the top there, because it's like a reflection in there, and I'm just going to add that like that. So then I'm going to continue with the light brown or the raw umber, and what we want to do is we want to do light circle strokes like that. then that one, let's have a look at using the medium brown. So this one is a burnt sienna. So let's have a look. So it's kind of like darker towards the middle, but doing round circles again, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go with that dark brown, which is the walnut brown for the polychromos, but just use your darkest brown. And then we are going, actually let's try and sharpen that again. Oh, just bear with me. Yeah, okay, that'll do. And what we want to do, because if you look in the corner, you'll see it's actually darker, and that just gives us a rounder shape to it. So if we just do that, and then around here as well, it's darker. And out there it's lighter, so it's all about trying to plot where the shadows are, just to make it sort of rounder. When you're doing a drawing, it doesn't have to be exactly like the picture. Just do, you know, your closest. That's absolutely fine. You can do your own take on it, but this gives you an idea of how to sort of build the colour. I'm just going to add a bit of the light grey to the top as well. Actually, that looks a bit not so sharp. Just do a little. Yeah, that'll do. So that sort of lights that up a bit. I'm just gonna use the walnut brown again. So it's all about sort of taking it slowly, just gradually building around here. I mean, it'll look different again once we get some of the fur in. What I might do is when we get to that part is take this out of the book so that I can get a use the firm surface so that we can get more detail into it, but for the moment it's okay with the eye. Okay, so it's going down there. Just want to do it very lightly so we can build the colours, because paper like this won't take too many layers because it's quite a smooth surface, so you have to be really careful with it. Okay, maybe do very, very lightly with the black. Okay. It's kind of even darker in the middle. So it's all about having a bit of a play with the colours, just getting used to them and just seeing what they can do and what goes well together. Right. That's okay. And then you've got the corner bit, which I'm going to use the grey for because you see it's quite lighter. So I'm going to go like that, and then I am going to add sort of a bit of black in there. Just like that. Okay, so then we are going to do the same on the other eye. So I've got my picture on my iPad, so then what I can do is I can zoom in whilst I'm drawing, so I can just sort of concentrate on one area. Okay, so we're going to do the same again. Sorry to keep knocking the camera. Okay, so we have got that going down there. Okay, that. And then like that. So again, it's quite a light layer, so it's a darker bit in there. And we've got the highlight bit in there. Okay, and then you've got the darker bit going in down there. Okay, so I'm going to go with black again, just to go over the top. And just follow it around. So as you can see, both the eyes are different on here, but when you look at the picture as well, reference picture, you'll see they're both slightly different shape, different position. Right. You might find that you might need to keep your pencils sharp so that you can get some detail into it. I mean, on the picture, this bit here is going to be dark anyway. So yeah, and maybe that bit there is going to be slightly dark with the fur as well, probably like a dark brown, but we'll look at that later. So then we want to go like that. That should be nice to get this portrait onto a bigger bit of paper at some point, which I'll probably put it on drafting film. Right. Okay. Right. just sort of make sure that it's plotted. Yeah, I think that's okay for the moment. Let's try some grey. Just put that in there. Might want to do make that darker so you can see that it's a grey there. But again, lightly. So if you what you do is if you're doing it lightly, just so like you're barely touching the paper, and it allows you to for the paper to take more layers. Some paper can take a lot more layers than others, so as I said, it's because it's smoother and thinner, it's not going to take that many, but it's okay for what we want to do here. Okay, right, so we are going to start with the raw, no, is that the brown sienna? No, raw umber. And we will do that again in round circles around here. So you can slowly see it come into life, can't you, with now that the eyes are done. Okay. Then I'm going to use the light blue over the top for the reflection. Okay, and just the light grey with it as well, just to sort of darken it up slightly, make it more vibrant anyway. And then we will go with the burnt sienna, which can be your medium brown, and we just double check here because that eye looks a bit darker where it looks more in shadow, so we'll go into do the round circles like so. And then I'm going to get the walnut brown or the dark brown. As you can see in the corner of the eye, it's a bit darker there. And you don't need to keep your paper this way. If you find it easier to sort of go that way or that way, that's absolutely fine. Just make it easier for yourself. All right. Okay, and then that way as well. And then what I want to do is actually just go over that. Dark brown like so, so you can see the eye is gradually coming together. And then I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to use another layer of black, but I'm using dark, you know, the ivory black for the Derwent drawing, but just use another layer of your black, so I can just go over like that. And then, yeah, make that bit darker there. mean, this is your first time drawing in detail, you know, don't worry about it too much. Well, don't worry about it at all, just enjoy the process. It's nice and relaxing. You don't have to sort of do it all in one go. If you've only got like a few minutes spare, then just do a little bit. And yeah, it's very relaxing. Right, I'm just going to use the black just to sort of make it rounder up there. Okay, so it's not too bad. Okay, I want to use the dark brown just to do that bit there. So you can see some sort of roundness on it. Right. So should you find that you want to have a go at doing other animals, if you're wanting to do any on your own, just have a real good look at the picture, and you know, it's not like always, so for instance, looking at this fox, it's not always just one brown. You're going to see different shades. Sometimes you're going to see different colours. So for instance, there might be, if there was the sunlight was catching it, you might see a green. But yeah, just have a real look to see what you can see. It takes a bit of practice. You know, you might want to see what your shades of pencil are going to look like, and also if you're going to get different brands of pencils, the colours are going to be different shades altogether anyway. So just going to have a look to sort of do around the eye, just see what we've got. Okay, so we've got any other, let's have a look. Actually, I'm going to start with, the burnt sienna, sorry. Yeah, so you've got the line there. So what we're going to do is just lightly do this, like different strokes, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building up the layers again on this. Okay, so you just get the gist of what it's going to look like that. Okay, and there. And then, so basically you just got to make sure that you're following the flow of the fur, because if you start doing it in the direction that the fur is not going, it will make the picture uneven. And so just like have a look. So basically when you're here, you can see it's sort of changing slightly, the actual direction. And so then we want to go that way for this bit. Like that. Because you can see it's darker here. So this, the lineup that we put in beforehand, it gives us areas to sort of plot where the fur is going to be and the direction it's going to go. So it sort of helps sort of take out the difficulty of it. And you know, a lot of artists do this way of, have this way of doing it. So that. So you can see it's actually starting to make a difference, where you can actually, you've got colour laid down with the eye. I always think once you've got do the actual eye and then you've got the fur all around it, it really does start coming to life. But yeah, just make sure you keep an eye on the direction of the fur. And also, yeah, just keep it light so that we can go over the top. Because for me, when I mention that I'm doing the eyes, it's not just the eyes, the eyeballs itself, it's just the bit around, so that we can plot there and then we can make our next move. So, and you just want to make sure that your pencil is sharp. So I'm just gonna like so. So you can see it all coming together now. Might look a bit untidy, but you're going to build the layer out. Okay, so that goes there, like that, and we're going to have it like that, that's fine. Okay, so then we are going to build the layer up again, and let's have a look. Have we got any terracotta there? What's that one? I've got a burnt ochre, looks more like an orangey brown. Yeah, okay, right, don't worry about that one for the moment. Going to use the walnut brown, which is your dark brown if you haven't got one of these. So you see that it's dark in there. So just keep building it up like this. So what you'll be able to find is when you're doing all these different layers, you can see all the other colours coming through. And let's have a look. So it's quite dark around there. So we want to just keep layering it up. Right by the eye, it's actually quite dark. So to make the fur a lot darker. Like that. Okay, and there. It's actually at its darkest over here in this part here. If you find that you've put too much colour down and it's not taking anymore, if you have one of these kneadable rubber, then you can always just dab it and a layer will come off. If not, if you, I've spoken about this in the materials video, then if not, you can take it out with one of these, the Tombow eraser. These are very handy, but it seems to be going fine at the moment. So, but don't worry if if you're finding that you're finding yours is getting a bit too dark. Just take out a layer. Like so. Right. And don't worry if you can't do each stage of the video in one go. You can pause it and you can always come back to it. So it's not something that you just need to spend hours on. You can, in one go, you can actually do it when you've got the time. So I want a bit round there. And let's have a look. Might add a bit of terracotta here, or burnt ochre. Just gonna add that in. It's more of like an orangey brown. So if you've got haven't got one of these, then you could probably do it with a orange and then layer it up with your light brown, because that will probably do it. Okay. Just add some more of that. And then some of the dark. Like so. Yeah. You can see it building up. So it's already looking totally different from that one, because we've got a bit more context around it. But what I want to do is go in and add some black in there, because it is really dark. So we are going to go, let's look at the direction of the fur. Like that. And down like that. And then we want to do some more around here. Right. Okay, so it's a bit lighter there, so let's see if I can get some of that grey in. Actually, let's remove it a bit from there. It's a bit lighter. So it's all about playing with the colours. So everything I lay down doesn't necessarily it's not something that could end up permanent. I could look at it and think, no, that needs changing, or no, that's not dark enough. So yeah, it's all about playing around with the colour, and you know, until you're happy with it. Okay. So just building this up round here with the brown, so put the grey down. At the moment I've got the black, I've got the dark brown, and what else have we got here? And then I'm going to use the burnt ochre as well. Right. And just make it a bit more vibrant with that. It's got some nice deep reds on there and some terracotta and oranges. I'm pleased with it so far. I think I might want to do a bit more dark there, so I can make it stand out. You can see it's, you know, it's really coming together. Right, let's do a bit more in there. Like that. Right, we have a real like reddy brown there, don't we? Let's have a look. Terracotta there for the luminance. Actually, I might use the Polychromos version of that, because where it's a harder lead, you're going to get finer details out of it than you are with the luminance, because they're very soft. So just going to add a bit more in there. You can see. So if you haven't got a terracotta, again, that's kind of like an orangey brown, so have a little practice to see whether what you can come up with. You might be able to get like one of your oranges that are in your set and your lighter browns, and just sort of have a mix of it up on another bit of paper just to see what you can do with it, and then you can layer up using the combination that you've found. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Okay, on there. So I want to build up a bit of brightness, but again, we're only pressing lightly. Like so. It's already coming together quite nicely. It's not bad, quite pleased with that, how it's progressing so far. Again, just make sure that you keep with the direction of the fur, so that it, you know, you've got your proportions right. test that. Just wonder whether I can get my slice tool on it. I mean, you might not have a slice tool, but if you have, I'm just going to see if I can get details of some more fur on there. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, okay. If you haven't got one, but you've got one of these, then just make sure the end of the rubber is clear, and then you can just use like the subtraction technique on that, and it'll give you light bits and dark bits. So, but yeah, don't worry about that for the moment, just testing it. Okay, let's go back to using this. And if you're doing this with children, then obviously you can do this part for them, although it's not sharp. If they're under a certain age group, then just do that part for them and just let them watch you do it, so then when they're old enough, you know, they know how to do it. But if not, then using the small rubber will be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and I just realised I've got a pencil mark up there, so I'm just going to get rid of it with this. There we go, that's lifted that white out, so that's good. Okay, and I am just going to just darken that up a bit more. I mean, you're going to see a contrast with that anyway, because then it's just going to start going lighter, and then you'll see that it's how dark it's getting. So I'm going to leave that one for the moment, I think, and then we're going to move on to this eye. So we are just having a look. Sorry, just going to there. So that one, let's have a look at the colours we've got. So I'm going to start with the raw umber, because it's the lighter one. So I'm just going to, I mean, this bit here is going to end up like the dark with the darker shades on it. But I'm just going to put a base layer on. Like so. Right, and then that way. So again, I'm paying close attention to how the direction of the fur is going. And you can see on this part that the eye bit is kind of like not so vibrant in colour, so these are just going to be just like not have the red in it, so it's just going to be more browns, like so. So we're just going to do that around the eye. And around like that. Okay, and then like that. So you can see it looks like it's kinking a bit, the fur. See how light I'm going. It's very slightly skating over the surface of the paper. Like that. And that's a top tip. If you're following me whilst doing the drawing and you find, you know, that you need to rewind it, then by all means do that, if that makes it easier. And then you can do it in your own time. You can do it at a different speed. So it just, you know, it's entirely up to you how you want to do this. Again, just look at that there. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to put the next layer on. I'm going to put the burnt sienna and see what that does. Okay, so it's going to be darker in this corner as well, but not as dark as the other one. Yeah, it's going well. But what I want to do actually is make that darker, so that you can see with all the line art that was down, it's actually disappearing. So yeah. Okay. Right, so just keep doing that. So we've got the dark bit that's going there. Okay. And we just want to just keep following that fur. I know I keep talking about that part, but it helps to sort of say it out loud or just remind ourselves, you know, that that's what we need to do. Okay. So just bring that over there. Okay. And so like you can actually see on the camera how different it's starting to look and how it's all progressing. As soon as you add colour around the eyes, it's starting to sort of get that fox type of feel to it. Like that. So when you're doing the fur, you need to sort of really look. Just make sure that there's no sudden change. So that's going up there like that, and then it's going to start going like that because you've got the muzzle there. Like that. Okay. Yeah, that's looking okay. Pleased with this. Right, what's that one doing? So once we've got like all the rest of the layers in going around, then before we actually finally finish, we'll go through and have a look to see if any of the colour needs tweaking or if it needs more layers of colour. Right. Okay. Like that. And that bit's actually doing that there. Okay. That's that. So then I'm going to go and add in the walnut brown, or the dark brown. So that is going to go up through there. And what we'll do is we'll darken it slightly with the black as well. But yeah, I mean, as I said, always trust the process. It might go through what you feel is an ugly look, or you know, all drawings do that, but just stick with it, trust the process, and just go with it, because the more that you add, the more that you'll see the context of it, and you'll think, then you'll at the end think, oh wow, I really did that. So yeah, you'll end up being very proud of what you can do. I'm always proud of what I've finished, the finished result. And share it with your friends, see what they think. But this is such a relaxing pastime. It's a sort of hobby that you can do anywhere. You can take a sketch pad with you if you're going to the beach. Take a sketch pad and some pencils, and just do a drawing. That's the thing with pencils, is that although you've got your paints and that, and they do the little paints, these just don't. It doesn't get dirty doing this. You see it all coming together now. Right. Okay, it's going to be a bit reddy brown under there, so let's try the terracotta again, so a bit of orange. Then just gonna go around here. So this actual fox picture came from Pixabay, so it's copyright free. But when we're doing art and we're using a reference photo, whether it's something from Pixabay, Pexels, or you know, someone else that's like, even if it's a friend that's taken the picture, when we post in our pictures or selling them, then we always want to credit the photographer. You can see that it's all gradually taken shape. So yeah, it's going to be nice and light up here. The ears are going to be dark, but you can see even just putting the bits around the eyes, it's really already beginning to look like it's growing and making a difference. Okay, what else we got here? So I'm just going to do another layer of the burnt sienna. Because that's got a nice reddy brown to it. So what you could do is, if you don't have one of these, even though it's like a medium colour brown, you might want to add like a pale red and then just put the brown over it. But just first of all check to see, you know, do a test of it on a different piece of paper and see what it's going to look like before you actually lay it down. Because if it doesn't look right for you, then you know you don't want to ruin your hard work. Okay, need to put that. Actually, I'm going to use the sepia 50%, but to do this a bit darker. But again, you can put some black over the top just to sort of enrich the colour. But I mean, if you do want to buy the pencils, then all of the colour pencils I'm using here, you can buy singly for a really reasonable price from Art Discount. Loads of other online art shops sell these individually as well. But this one is a really lovely colour. I love using this one, and you can see the difference in the leads. It looks, you know, creamier. So, but then what you need to do though is just to ensure that if you're going to use a mixture of brands, always put the polychromos down first, because they're harder leads, and then on top you can add your, you know, your creamier pencils like your Luminance, your Pablos and your Derwent Drawings. Just want to make this a bit darker around here. You can see that okay. Right. Okay, and then let's just put a little bit black because we want to define that a bit more. It's not doing too badly, this paper, actually, for taking layers. Pleasantly surprised by it, actually. So I mean, you don't really need to spend a lot on paper. Yeah, this is like really cheap and that, so yeah, it's yeah, as long as you sort of do like a lighter layers, it does take a lot of layers, but you know, if you think this is something that you're gonna want to continue with, then maybe later down the line invest in other surfaces, but we can go through that once when we do on our next drawings. So for instance, if you wanted to use pastel matte, which has got a grainy surface but takes even more layers, you don't have to buy a whole pad of paper, you can just buy them in single sheets. I think Jackson's Art does them singly. Let's put some there. It's a bit darker there. Right, just have a quick look. Right, so we need, almost done for the eyes for the moment. Just going to put in a bit of colour there. Let's put a bit of black there. I think what we want to do is make it even darker under there, so you can see it's darker under the fur. Makes it stand out a bit more. And then let's try that on this side as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's gradually building it up a bit. So for the moment, that's all we're going to do on the eyes. For the next part, what I'm planning on doing is working on this part here, so that it just draws it all together. And then what I'll probably do next then is, after that part's done, is move on to this side. So what we're going to try and do is just go across and then down. But yeah, hope you're enjoying it so far, and see you in the next one.